Hello. Um, Sorry, I just woke up from a nap. Turns out when there's a tornado, the weather is perfect to go to sleep. Um, was thinking about a possible, amendment I would like to make to the Constitution. So I'm just gonna scrunch it all together into one amendment. That's gonna have several articles, each of them with at least one section. Obviously, because then it wouldn't be a separate article if there was not at least one. Whatever. Anyway, it's mostly about like the judicial branch, but the first article would apply to all politicians, courts, stuff like that, in policymakers, all that jazz, across the board. But that's why it would be the first article. And it would this amendment would introduce some limitations on the already weakest branch, give some power to another branch, and also restore power to the weakest branch and then some. So this is just going to be the first article because I rambled a lot about it whenever I was recording it before, and we're about a minute and a half into this thing. So I'm not moving, I'm stationary, I'm not operating a motor vehicle. 28th Amendment proposed by me, some random dude. Article 1, Section 1 would be birthright requirements. You must be born within the purview of where you would be representing, or be a public servant of, in regard to judicial power, legislation, and the executive body. Oh. You want to be a judge? Hey, you got to be born there. Unless, like, your parents are on the road or they go somewhere else. Like, I was born in a hospital, not only a town over, actually like 3 towns over, in a different county. But my parents' residence was my childhood home residence. That was where I lived. Like, they went there, had me, and then came right back home. So, like, that would be counted as my residence. I could forego that for a position of the place I was actually born at, as an example, using myself as an example. But it'd be like, probably shouldn't. You're not really one of them, you're one of wherever you actually lived. Like, the comedian Ralphie May was born in Chattanooga, Tennessee, but I believe he was from Arkansas. It's like he is an Arkansasan, but like, due to where his parents were at the time, like on a trip or whatever, he was born there. So stuff like that would be taken into account. And if your parents, excuse me please, your parents must both be naturalized citizens. You can't have, oh yeah, mom's a citizen, but dad's here on a work visa, and then he goes back to his home country, and then he comes here again. Nope, you cannot run for office ever on any level. Local level, local municipality, county, state, federal, none of that. You can't. And you cannot be elected. If you are written in as a write-in, you cannot. You cannot take the position. Because dad wanted to screw around with the government system. If both parents, and they both must have been here through legal means, if at least one of them immigrated here, they must have done so in a legal manner, because it's literally you're breaking the law in order to enter the country. The immigration debate is dumb. It's, you broke the law. You're not going through the proper port of entry. You're doing everything you can to not get here through the proper channels, which other people wait decades for in some cases, which Why does it take so long? I don't like that. But still, that's the way it is. Just work with your country of origin to get in here. Anyway. You want to be a representative in Congress? Great, you have to have been born in the district you're in. Well, gerrymandering and redistricting happens. That sucks. Senators would have it a little easier, but there you go. Also, in Tennessee and Kentucky, there's a town that straddles the border. So you could be in both. So let's say, oh yeah, your family's from Georgia, but they were visiting family up in Kentucky, and on the way back, on the Kentucky side of that town that is both in Kentucky and Tennessee, you were born. Hey, cool. Technically, you have tri-state citizenship. That's cool. On the other hand, you're a Georgian in that instance. As long as both your parents are legal residents, and if either of them immigrated here, it was through legal means. Sorry. Section 2. Age limits. And this would also set the federal age of retirement, that if you are employed by government or you are government, like you are a Supreme Court justice, you are a member of Congress, you are part of the bureaucratic bloat, you have an authoritative policy-making position, or you are employed by the government, 60 years old is the cap. After that, you have to get out. And, oh hey, I found a perfect Supreme Court justice because we need someone in there. How old are you? 59. Or we'll be back here in a year's time. If anything, you'll save us a year. But, why are you getting picked when you're only going to be here for a year? You have to retire. Forced to retire. And if you're, whatever term you're going to be running for, you would go beyond the age of 60 in that, even if it's by 1 second of the day you're inaugurated into your position. No, you don't get to. You just don't get to have the position. You are not qualified to run because you will not be able to serve the full term. You must have the capacity to run the full term, along with all other requirements. Section 3. You must not go above 20 years. And unless any of that time was in the presidency, you have one kind of pension that you can get, and you must hit that 20 years in order to receive that pension, unless you serve in the presidency, in which case you get a presidential pension and that's it. If you want to go, oh, I'm going to serve as president, I've done nothing in politics, you do that for 8 years, and then you go, I want to be a Supreme Court justice. Cool. You're not paid a justice's salary, though. You're paid a presidential pension. Or you can continue serving in politics, but once you retire from politics, you are paid the presidential pension, not the other pension. None of this, oh, I can serve in Congress for a quarter of the time a police officer has to, or a service member has to of the military, or an electrician, or whoever. None of this, you have to serve 5 years in Congress, and then, oh, now you get a pension. No, you don't, no more of that. 20 years, that's that. Specifically, we would limit legislation to no more than 2 6-year terms in the Senate, in the Senate. This would be on federal level. And no more than 8 in the House. So at most, you could do 20 years. If you wanted to do it all, you're not going to do everything to the max in every branch. This is across all branches of government or any level of policy making, like, oh, you're the head of the NSA, you're the vice president for multiple presidents in a row. Somehow that works, which technically in theory you could do. Oh, you're on, you were on the local board of mayor and aldermen, and you were a county judge, and you served in your state senate, and you were a governor, okay, cool. All that time is accrued. Oh, you were on a school board? That counts too. Anything below that, like, oh, I just have authority over a school, that's fine. That doesn't count towards the quote unquote government service pension. I love being this close to the camera and doing this with my hands, and you can't see it. But there's that. Term limits. Article 4. Your pay pre-taxes is the average amount of your constituents, or if you're like a Supreme Court justice, it would be the citizens of the United States of America as a whole. Whatever their average level of income is after all three income taxes are subtracted, because you have the actual income tax, Social Security tax, which is a tax directly on your income, it's an income tax, and the Medicare tax, it's a tax directly on your income, it's an income tax. There's only supposed to be one. Also, I'm pretty sure it's only supposed to go towards public programs. Ours is going towards, per the 16th Amendment, and ours is going towards the interest on our debt. So they're not even taking it for the reason they're supposed to. Constitutionally, can they even take it then? Anyway, so the average post-tax amount is the amount you get pre-taxes, and yes, you're going to pay taxes too. The only people who would get more than that would be the Speaker of the House, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, and the President of the United States. They would all get a 10% increase of whatever their thing is. So the Chief Justice would not have a fixed salary. If you're from the lowest level income congressional district, cool, you'll get that plus 10% of whatever that is. So there's probably going to be people in the House making more than you still. It's an incentive, massive incentive to decrease taxation and increase wages and decrease the cost of living, because now you're like everybody else. I think that was everything for the first article I would have in this amendment. Birthright requirements, age limits, term limits, income limits. And that's all your bonuses and everything too, and benefits. Like, you would not get, if you are a policymaker, you have no benefits. You do everything out of pocket. You don't get guaranteed insurance or any of that crap that, people employed through the executive branch would get. There you go. Like, oh, the Secretary of the Interior wouldn't have, or Agriculture, whichever one's over national parks, because I keep getting that wrong. Yeah, no, you don't get insurance coverage offered at all. But the park rangers, yeah, they can get offered insurance. There you go. But yeah, that would be Article 1 of this proposed amendment. There's more I'd like to do, but everyone's out now that the weather is not horrid and you can see more than a foot out of your car. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I plan on uploading each day on this because it takes forever for this to upload from my phone. So, yeah. But have a good day.